this is a follow-up to that, on that topic of free will. And the user asks, Guruji talks again and again about panamanana, living in the will of the Creator. And if everything happens in God's will, do you think Guruji wants us to simply accept everything in our lives at present, and all to come to us in the future is best for us as decided by Vaheguru, and that there's no reason to ask for anything or do anything? You could say the follow-up part of that is, how does free will come into that? And how do we know when to stop our own efforts and just surrender and accept?
You act, when you act in God's will, you're part of it. So you have to take the action you have to take. The problem comes when you plan and you scheme and you connive and you manipulate and you try to get things at the expense of someone else, or you compromise your own values for benefits. Those actions are not in the flow of God's will. Those actions are actions where you just create for yourself a kadam. When you live in God's will, it means that you're alert in each moment to what needs to be done. And in that moment, you act or not act according to your understanding of what you need to do in that moment, or what you need to not do in that moment. But that action is not coming from your ego. It's not coming from your fantasy, from your imagination, from your manipulation, from your hassling and hustling to get what you want. It's coming from understanding that you are required in that moment to act. And that's a very blessed state. So, the question is, where are you acting from? Are you acting from your own desires? Are you acting from your own needs? Or are you acting in that moment consciously to the need of the moment? Right? And what that moment requires of you in that moment.
When I hear you and I think about this topic, I think oftentimes a lot of it really comes down to awareness, and because some people might say, well, should I just, coast along, or just, do I not do anything? Is everything going to just happen? And where's the balance between free will versus letting go, letting the Guru take care of my affairs?
What does free will mean to you?
To me, it means making a choice and making a direction.
It means you can do anything you want?
Within some scope of things, I have my boat. I can drift along in the boat wherever the stream is going to take me, or I can steer it one way or the other. And that free will is, I can.
Have you ever been whitewater rafting?
Yes.
If you don't steer the boat, you go in. The question is, what's required of you in that moment? Right? When the water is calm, you can stow your oars and you can watch the scenery go by and enjoy God manifesting. When you are required to paddle, you better damn well paddle. You understand? It's being tuned into the moment of knowing what needs to be done in that moment and doing it consciously. It's not an either-or question. Either it's all God's will and I just can relax and do nothing, or I have free will and I'm the master of my own destiny. It's not black and white. It's what is required of you in this moment. And sometimes in that moment it is required not to act. And sometimes in that moment it's required to act.